It's a tradition unlike any other. A new breed of golf. Let's do this!
A New Breed of Golf with Michael Breed is brought to you by Titleist, the #1 ball in golf, and by FootJoy, power, precision, comfort. Feel the joy. And by Golf Pride, the #1 grip on tour.
Welcome to A New Breed of Golf. I'm Michael Breed. So excited to get you back into the studio here on this Wednesday night, right before the start of Masters. And there's so many things to be excited about on this night. Not just what's happening tomorrow, but what's going on in here. I'm going to show you some really cool things that we've got going on in the studio, and it's going to give you a really good idea of how you're going to be able to play better golf. One of the things that happens at Augusta National, and you can see that I've got the property behind me here. One of the things that happens at Augusta National is there's a tremendous elevation change, and it's 175 feet. So from this water tower right here, through one green right here, and down to Rays Creek, and the 12th green, which is on the other side of Rays Creek, it's 175 feet down in that direction. And to give you an idea of what that's like, Niagara Falls, 176-foot drop. It's significant. Now, what McKinsey did was when the golf course was designed, he took the holes and he started working it across that property. So, #1 green, as I showed you before, #1 is working across the property right here. Here's Magnolia Lane. Here's the clubhouse right there. You can see that's working across the property. And #9, working across the property. Go down here. And over here on 15, we're working across the property. 14, working across the property. Here's 13 that starts going up the hill, and then it starts to work across the property. There's one hole at Augusta National that works directly back up to the clubhouse, and that's number 18. So when we're teeing off on 18, we're going like this, and then we're twisting up to the clubhouse right there. There's another one, the 6th hole, that works in that fashion, but because it's sitting up on a peak on number 5, it's actually a downhill shot. So there's really one hole that's working up that hill to the clubhouse. Everything else is working across the property. So when we start dealing with working across slopes, we're dealing with uneven lies. And one of the reasons why you struggle with your game, you have great success on the practice tee, but you struggle getting it to the golf course, is because you don't know how to deal with uneven lies. And what we have here with this Zen green stage, I can create an uneven lie of all kinds in here. I'm going to show you a couple. First, we're just going to hit one shot, give you a baseline of what happens. So out on the range here, when I'm hitting these shots, I'm looking at two things. One of the things that I'm looking at is I'm looking at the relationship, what I call spin ratio, and that's the relationship of side spin to backspin. So right here, you can see this is phenomenal. The backspin right there is about 5650, and the side spin's only 28. What that means is my spin ratio is very, very low. When we start getting spin ratios that are high, in other words, if that side spin number is, say, 1,000, now all of a sudden the spin ratio is going to go up, and that's what's going to create some curve. All right, so let's go back over here again. And what I need to do now is I want to take this and I want to create a side hill lie. This is the one where the golf ball is above your feet in this fashion here, and I'm going to teach you how to deal with these uneven lies. And as we go through this, you can see, by the way, we're moving that stage. Well done, Greg. And we've got that stage moving. We're going to lift this up, and all of a sudden you can see how much that property is tilting that way. In fact, when we hit this shot, we have to allow for some movement to the ball. And the reason why is that when this club is sitting on the ground, even though the leading edge might be going into the fairway, because the toe is above the heel, the face is really pointing over to the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit a straight shot here, and you're going to watch and see how these numbers are going to change. So there's the shot that I hit. Now, watch what's happening to that golf ball. And by the way, this golf ball is moving off that hill, so it's telling you that the slope is running down here. But as we go over here, remember I was telling you about the spin ratio? And I was telling you how that spin ratio was going to go up? So I made a nice shot. My backspin there was about 4,300, not bad, but look at how much the side spin has increased. I'm almost at 1,200 RPMs of left spin. What does that mean? That means my spin ratio is up to 27.2. Now, let's see if we can replay that shot and get an idea of what that curve is like. Look at that ball curving in the air right there, and you can see how much that's moving. So we have to make accommodations for that movement that we're getting. Now, what are the things that we're going to do? Well, obviously, one of the things that we want to do is we want to aim to the high side of the hill. And an easy way for you to remember what's happening on side hill lies is that the ball will always curve to the low side of the hill. It's always going to curve to the low side of the hill. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter whether you're right or left-handed. All that matters is for you to understand the ball's going to curve to the low side of the hill, which means when you aim, you have to aim up that hill. So one of the accommodations I have to do is aim a little bit up to the right. So I'm going to make sure that I aim a little bit up to the right. Now, the other thing that's happened is that the golf ball is a lot closer to my chest. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to grip down on this club a little bit. And as I grip down on that club, now all of a sudden, the shaft of the golf club is going to be a little bit taller, the toe's going to be a little bit lower than that heel, and it's going to offset this slope. I may even nudge that ball into the back of my stance just a little bit. So those are my address keys. And now what I'm going to do when I make this backswing, I'm going to feel like I'm going to take that club a little bit outside, and that's going to keep that club face a little bit squarer. So now I'm going to hit that shot. Now notice how much it didn't spin. So let's go back over here. We'll take a look at that curve, but let's go back over here and check out our numbers. Backspin is fairly similar. This one's about 4,800, 4,850. The other one was about 43. But look at the side spin. I cut it in half. That's at 500. So what happened to my spin ratio? Well, it's down from 27% to about 10.5%. Let's look at this shot and watch how much curve there isn't on this. You can see how it starts out to the right. It has a little bit of a twist to the left, but it doesn't curve nearly as much as the one before. So those accommodations, remember we're going to tell you, you're going to grip down on that club a little bit, nudge that ball into the back of your stance, aim a little bit to the right, and then we're going to take that club a little bit outside. Now, the other lie that you're going to see a lot of at Augusta National, and the one that gives you fits, is a downhill lie. So Greg, what I want to do is I want to try to lift this. Beautiful, and let's drop that. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. And now what you can see, when this is happening, I'm going to get off, and now, Gibbsy, if you could give me a little bit of a wider shot there. Look at the angle that's taking place in our green stage, and you can see that we've shifted this into a downhill lie. Now, what are the accommodations that we have to make on a downhill lie? Well, obviously, and you remember this, that we've talked about making sure that the shoulders get parallel to that slope. So when I go like this, I tilt my shoulders this way, and you can see that my head is actually moving forward. So I move forward in this fashion here. Now, what happens to you when you go play? Well, what happens to you is, because you don't know what to do, you move that ball into the back of your stance. And when you move the ball in the back of your stance, what you're doing is you're taking a little bit and you're making a D-loft. So when I take my shoulders and I get them level, that actually moves the ball into the back of my stance. But what you do is you then move the ball into the back of your stance even more. So when I get into this shot, and I'm going to tell you that the apex of my other shot that I hit there was about, about 60 feet, and my vertical launch angle was in the teens. Now watch what happens when I do this. So I'm going to do all the things that we would normally do. We're going to lean those shoulders. That's what I got to do. We got to move that ball in the back of our stance. That's not what you want to do, but that's what you are doing. So we're going to put that back there like that. And now when I get in here and I hit this shot, now watch what happens to this golf ball. First, when it lands on the ground, it's going to run. The second thing that you're going to notice is that my vertical launch angle is no longer going to get into the teens. In point of fact, it's going to be 9.4, which is incredibly low launch angle. But look at my apex, 37 feet. That means that when that golf ball comes in, it's going to release, and it doesn't go very far. Look up here. I hit this 149.5 yards. It released 162 yards. That's French for 13 yards of roll on the ground. We've got to solve that problem. I want to get that golf ball to get up into the air. So what are we going to do? Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do that shoulder thing, which we have to do. But the second thing that I want you to do is I want you to move that golf ball forward. And the reason why is that when I set my shoulders to the slope there, I in effect move the ball back. So I want to move it forward. I want that ball to be right underneath the buttons of my shirt or wherever I play it on a level lie, because I want to try to create that same level lie experience. So I get in here. I'm moving that ball a little bit forward. Now I'm going to get in here and lean a little bit into my lead leg, and I want to feel like I'm not moving at all. I'm staying right there. You're going to move down that hill. And now when I hit that shot, here's what you're going to see. First, ball's going to be a lot higher. Second, as a result of it being a lot higher, and we'll replay this shot again, what you're going to see is a big difference in what happens with my launch angle and my apex. And that's what you want to pay attention to. So look at my apex. I'm up to 76 feet. That's almost what I would normally do. My distance, by the way, went to 174 yards, so I gained some distance. Part of it is because the ball's going up into the air. Part of it also is that we're hitting it downhill, so it's going a little bit farther. Look at my vertical launch. Now I'm up to about 15 degrees. It's not exactly what my 6-iron is on a level lie, but it's a lot better than that 9 point whatever that we got. We basically increased that by a third. Let's see this shot on replay here. And what you're going to see is, look at the trajectory. It almost leaves the screen there. Fantastic work by both of you. All right, so can we bring the green stage back down here for me, Greg? Let's just bring it down so I can let everybody know what's going on. So here's what I need you to understand. What you're going to see these players do when they go out to go play tomorrow and through this week is they're going to make accommodations for uneven lies. And when they go out there, they're consistent in what they're doing. What I want you to do is understand what's happening. Now, I just shared with you a couple of these things. Through the course of this stuff, we're going to show you different ways for you to deal with downhill lies, uphill lies, side hill lies, all that other stuff, and a mixture. And that's one of the things that we can do in this studio, thanks to the green stage and also thanks to my friends at Big Moss who supply all the turf. Can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody being involved in this. And what I also want to tell you is we're going to be back on Friday. I'm going to give you some more information to key shots that you're going to see through the weekend. We'll talk a little bit about what happened on Thursday and get you ready for what is going to be absolutely one of the most exciting weekends of the entire year. Thank you so much for watching A New Breed of Golf. I'm Michael Breed. We'll see you next time.